Okay. Well, you guys, welcome to Thursday Night Shift. It is the 2nd of June, a new month, new things happening, and we're excited to have you guys here. We do have a guest speaker tonight we're really excited about, but before we jump into her, as I mentioned, maybe you didn't hear it on the Facebook Live, but if you have any friends, team members, tag them. You can invite them. And our quick thought question for today is what we're going to do is I just asked the other leaders if you had, we were just like, okay, one quick thought, if it's something about the incentive or anything. So it's going to be a little random, a little sporadic. Anybody want to start? Heather, you want to start? I can start.
Yeah, you go ahead and start because I'm still thinking of my nugget.
So I just saw this quote shared by another leader. It was floating around and it made me think, like, with everything going on right now that we have available to us for June, because there's a lot that we have available to us for our business. It was a quote that said, "I don't understand why everyone is afraid of failing when it hurts so much to miss out on everything that you dream of because you lack the courage to try." And I just really loved that because I was like, okay, that's right? We have one life. We literally have one life. And we get to choose what we do with the day every single day. And if we don't choose to turn it into something great, if we don't choose to go out and make it happen, that's on us. There's a TikTok, and I hate that I talk in TikToks, but Jamie gets me because we talk in TikToks a lot. We're like, did you see that TikTok? But I saw a TikTok, and it's one of those ones that says, use the weekend to not escape your life, but to build the life that you want, right? And it's talking to most people that work that 9 to 5. And so that quote kind of aligned with it. And I just wanted to shout that out again. We have one life. We have one chance. The only way you fail is if you don't do it, and you get to choose. If you're not happy with where things are, go out and do something different. And there's a lot in June to make that happen in your business.
Well, I'm glad you went first because I'm just going to piggyback off what you said because I had no flipping idea what I was saying in 1 minute. But here's what I'm going to say. You have one shot, one chance. If you're doing something and not getting the results that you don't want, you've got to change it up. You've got to pivot and do something different. I was on did a phone call with Renee Hall today, and she is tackling home parties, Facebook parties, and just making parties and become really good at them. And I think that's really important is find one thing and become really good at it. When you've mastered it, find a new thing and one thing and become really, really good at it. Okay. Don't get too overwhelmed with all the shiny objects, all the things. Pick one thing, focus, do your best, and then move on. I think that was a minute.
Okay.
JP.
Okay. Well, I'm glad y'all gave some real inspiration because this is the only quote that stood out to me this week. I am going to share something else. Don't fret.
Okay, good.
This is the quote that I saw this week that literally has rang in my mind. It says, "I've lived in Texas my whole life, and this heat offends me every year." So if that tells you where my mindset is, I am tired of this heat already, and I've lived in Texas my whole life. That's why I said that I'm glad they brought the inspiration because I didn't have the inspiration tonight. But I will tell you what I did today. I feel like I'm chasing my tail. We've all talked about this season. We're busy. We're crazy. So I was stressed because I have not gotten all my bring back my bars, all the things, right? So I just went old school. I put 1 cube of each in here. I'm printing off the things that says what each one is. I'm going to share these with my customers, let them, it's like a party in a bag to go ahead and take this. I actually am helping a frontline who didn't get to order these. And so I'm going to go ahead and get these to her. Anyway, that's my business tip is don't overthink and think you have to do them all. In my customer mailers, I think I only did 12 cents. And then I'm doing some other goodies with 1 cube of every. This is old school for me and it's nothing brand new, but that's all I got for my 1 minute. Sorry.
I love it. All right. Julie Sue's gardening, but she's going to give us 1 minute as well.
Not gardening, but I definitely have a different scenery. I love all those. And you guys, I think one of my favorite quotes, I just screenshotted it again because I posted it before, but it's by Dolly Parton. And it is, if you see someone without a smile, let them borrow one of yours. I think that's so important. And I say that now because I'm actually with a friend who needs me right now. And it's a joy of our business to be able to pivot and do the things that we love. And, you know, I've been struggling doing this business for so long with my reinforced why, I guess, my different why from when I started. And it's reasons like today, like it's why I was back in my office yesterday. Like my best friend needs me on random days. I get choked up, but I'm able to do this because I didn't have to go back to work. Right. So always remember that if you're in the moment of your business, other people on your team or your customers may not be. So it's those random texts or that energy that you might not have seen them or you might not have heard from them, send a text, see how they're doing, do what you can do. But right now, being outside, being with her is the reason that I do what I do. It's the reason why I should be in my office every day, working my business, doing the things that I love. And it just reinforced like why I love Scentsy so much and why I should be doing what I do. So just remember, when you're on point some days, other people may not be. And so if you don't hear from them, if you don't see them, just give them one of your smiles, and you never truly know how much of a better day you can make it for them, whether it's customers, team members, family members, whoever. That little text that just says, how are you doing today, can make all of the difference. So remember that as you are, I don't feel like it's a new catalog season yet, but I feel like we're progressing that way just with all the stuff going on. And so just every day the sun comes up and every day you can start over. So never feel like you're failing if you haven't done all the things that you used to do. Just start today.
Yep. Love that, Jill. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you're there with her. Yes, Joshua, it is. I will drink to that. It's a good drink and a scary drink. Fall catalog is coming quick, he said. So I'll have a sip of my red wine on that. I don't know whether I'm excited or I want to cry. I don't know yet. Oh my gosh. So a couple of things really quick before we introduce this amazing speaker. Big exciting things. If you're in Texas, in the Houston area, or willing to travel, upcoming on August 6th. Yep, August 6th. We are going to have a Houston training. Andrea Connolly had started this years back, and this is our 7th year of a group of superstar directors planning this huge event. It is a full day of training. We're going to have a fantastic coffee bar this year. I'm so excited about it. Speakers, training, lunch included, tons of prizes. If y'all have been to H-Town Showdown, put in the chat just about how many prizes and what you got out of it and what that event did for your business if you're on here. We want to hear from you. We've had makeup artists from Trish McAvoy Cosmetics, professional photographers doing headshots for $20. Really excited maybe to have some props where you're learning to take your own photos this year, where like if you're holding a 6-pack of bars. So we've got that coming up. Space is limited. Register on payday. Okay, don't wait to do this. It is only $55 or $60. I can't remember. It's
55.
55. Thank you. $55. It includes everything. Trust me. We're going to have really, really good prizes this year. One's actually been floating around of something really, really cute that I think everyone wants. It's adorable. So I'm not going to give hints and tricks and tips, but you're going to want to show up for this event. Callie's coming in town. Jody's coming in town. Jamie, I think, is coming in town. I'm going to beg Kimberly Polita, because she's here now and I see her on the screen. We've got other leaders that will show up and they're going to be here for this. And we're going to make it really fantastic and really fun. So register at htownshowdown.com/register. Okay, that's where you can get the information. We want to see you. Yes, Shannon, 2 hours away. We got people coming from El Paso, girlfriend. You're all invited. If you want to fly in, come on. I can get you a hotel, buddy up with some people, and we're going to make it a party. Yeah, we'll put it in the chat. Amanda's coming from Kansas City. Girls, listen, and guys, if we have 100, we can get home office, someone from home office coming. So that's number 1. And number 2, was there another announcement we needed to do, or that was it? I'm making stuff up as I go along.
I think that
it's just H-Town Showdown. Yeah. So we offered it out, road trip. Yeah. We offered it to our teams first, but we only felt it was right to come to our monthly movement family and offer it to you guys next before we open it up to everyone else. So there's little tiers of opening, and we are in tier 2 and y'all are here with us. So plan on it. And tonight you are in for a treat. So how this came about, Callie and her positive mindset, notice the things that most other people don't. When she was looking at the income disclosure statement this year, she saw that someone made $70-something thousand in their first year of Scentsy. And so she went on one of our leadership pages and said, excuse me, who are these top performers in this company that have joined in the past year or two that are doing this? And can we please get them to train Well, then Caitlin Berria chimed in and said, oh my gosh, I have this awesome leader that is kicking, I'll say booty instead of ass, kicking booty. It just slips out. She is kicking booty and she is doing amazing things. So I quickly said, Dawn, I need to be friends with you. Please tell us what you're doing. Dawn Cameron. So she joined September 26, 2020 during COVID year. Okay. 2 times annual sales earner. She earned annual mentor this year. She is a top 50 incentive earner, went to leadership for free, top 75 incentive earner. She finished and graduated from the accelerated leadership program. Her lifetime sales was already at over $160,000. Last month alone, her personal sales were over $9,000 and over 28 active frontline. And she has over 100 people already in her team and 151 in her group. So that shows the magnitude. Numbers don't lie. And so when you start listening to people, what they're doing, they're moving and shaking, and they're moving and shaking quick, and they're doing a lot of right things. So we are so excited, Dawn, for you to open up, share a glass of wine with us tonight, and just kind of chat with us and let us know what you're doing to get this type of success so fast and so quick in a 2-year span.
All right. This is not my thing. I'm going to start with that. So like extremely nervous to be here with all of you, but I don't have anything really scripted to say other than I'm just going to share my story. Like Heather said, I joined September 2020. I had a personal party that I think hit $350. I decided, I love Scentsy and I want the discount. So we've all heard that before. I joined for the discount. I quickly realized how Scentsy pretty much sells itself. And once I hit, I think October, I hit over 2,000 in sales. And then in November, I had surgery on my hip. So I was home. I needed something to do. And I just started reaching out to every single friend and family member. I mean, I even reached out to my hairdresser and went with the approach of, will you do me a favor? Starting a Scentsy business, and I'm just looking to get my name out there. I have found that using that word favor makes it kind of hard to say no. No pressure on sales, no pressure on big attendance. I would just really appreciate your support in helping me get my name out there. I didn't get very many no's with that approach, and I didn't throw a post up on Facebook. I just simply messaged everybody personally. I think that goes a long way. And with that being said, November, of course, it's our busy time. I hit almost 10,000 in sales my second month in Scentsy. And that's probably because I wasn't working. I was home. I needed to be productive. I'm just that kind of person. I've got to be doing something. And when I do something, I go all in. I don't do anything halfway. I go all in. And then I realized quickly when Scentsy paid for my family Christmas, I didn't have to pick up a credit card. I didn't have to do anything. I realized the potential. So I think in that moment, my why shifted quickly. My husband is a deputy and can retire in about 4 years. I've been in dentistry for 33 years since I was 17 years old. I don't bring a pension to retirement. I don't, join dentistry for the benefits. So my why quickly shifted. I want to build this. I saw the potential. I want to build this and bring it into retirement with us. It was around Christmas time, that last 2 weeks, when it's absolutely pointless to have a party because everybody's just like downtime. And I'm just sitting there at my bar stool. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And I'm scrolling through Facebook and I'm trying to figure out like a way to do Scentsy and work full time, because I was, I'm a dental assistant. I can't sneak my phone all day long. I can't engage with a team or customers or anything like that. So I needed to find a better way to do it. I found Visley and I found Yvonne Gritton. I came across her group. It was a Sample Stop and Shop. And it was like an outline of how she runs her parties online. She was still scheduling at the time. So I took her template and made it and kind of tweaked it, made it my own, and turned it into Visly so that I could have stuff going off while I was working. But she had a unique way of messaging the hostesses and booking more parties. And I think from that point, I have probably ran 3 to 5 parties every single week. So I have a lot of gratitude for Yvonne. And it was so cool because she's such an integral part of my journey that I actually and it was so cool because I got to have many, many meals with her in the Netherlands on the top 75 trip. So it kind of came full circle for me. It was really awesome. But I owe a lot to her. So like Heather said, find that one thing that you're good at. And I found that parties are what I'm really, really good at. I don't just set it and forget it like I know some consultants will do. When I run a party, I work a party. I'm sending out party packs 3 or 4 days into the party. I am texting every single person that has requested a party pack. Hey, it's sitting in your mailbox. So that's, number one for me. And every single day I'm showing my face, I'm going live, I'm engaging. I have posts that go off throughout the party that encourage more party bookings. I friend request everybody on the very last day of the party. I'm messaging every single person that has ordered. I'm inviting them to my VIP group. I'm now inviting them to my Project Broadcast VIP group because I'm trying to move away from being so reliant on Facebook to run my business. So I'm trying to get away from that and build something better. And I wish I had found Project Broadcast since day one, but that's a whole nother, and I'm going to try not to go squirrel, but Facebook is very frustrating for me. But where was I? Yeah, so, and I'll message everybody on the very last day. And I just find every single window of opportunity within the party to build a relationship. I don't just like a comment. I use it as an opportunity to engage, build a relationship, have a conversation with that person. So I have found, because I like I said, I don't set it and forget it. I work a party. And I really stay focused on my why. And in those moments when I feel overwhelmed and I can't put my phone down, or Sunday when Apple messages you and says what your screen time average was every single day. Yeah. I try to ignore that and stay focused on why I'm doing this in the first place. But it's parties. Parties is where it's at. I never close a party without talking with the hostess about joining, about flipping the parties. I think excellent customer service is huge. Giving your customers, and I know you guys probably all do this, so part of me is like, what am I going to tell all these ladies that they don't already know? But I think in a business where there are literally over 1 million consultants, you have to set yourself apart. You have to give them a reason to continue to come back to you. You have to make it so that they almost feel like they're cheating on you if they're buying from somebody else. And I represent that every day in my VIP group and on my personal page. And I think just being authentic and putting myself out there, the real me. I've had a lot of my customers come to me and say, hey, I've been watching you and I'd like to do what you do. So like I said, I 33 years in dentistry. I have 0 experience in direct sales. I just kind of fell into this and found a niche, and I absolutely love it. It's been an extremely huge blessing to me and my family. I was able to retire from dentistry in January, so I do Scentsy full time now. So I'm extremely excited about that. Yeah, so I don't know what else to say. Questions?
Okay. Well, I've already been jotting down notes, and I want you to follow up on a few things.
Okay.
You said you saw the potential in Scentsy coming from the dentistry. When did you see that moment? And what was it that you're like, oh, dang, red flag? When did you see that?
When I paid for Christmas for my family. I hit almost 10,000 in sales in November. And on December 10th, I got a check for $2,600.
Wow.
And it was at that moment when Caitlin Beria put up a top sales in her group, and it showed me number one, and then everybody was commenting. And then I had one lady in the group, Jamie in Varia's group, reach out to me, and that's, I think, the greatest thing about Scentsy is the sense of community. She has absolutely nothing to gain by helping me, but just had that heart to help. And she's like, girl, I would be making big business moves. I didn't even know what flip a party meant. So
you learn as you go, right?
Exactly. So my mindset switched, and it was more about building a team. And it's okay to give away that PRV. It's okay to build that commission. And I was fortunate because this wasn't my main source of income. I wasn't relying on Scentsy, so I could do those things, and, just tried to stay focused on that bigger picture. So whenever I can flip a party, I flip a party.
So I think that's really important, because we have a lot of people that work full-time jobs.
Mhm.
And I know I was talking with Callie earlier and Renee earlier, and I was like, it really is hard. I think when you have a certain a profession that you do, it's hard to turn off your work mode into a Scentsy mode, right? Scentsy is really your escape, your fun. And
Yeah.
sometimes if you're like really detail oriented, or, you don't have to necessarily be that way with Scentsy. So how did you find that balance between that Scentsy and that work life? I mean, because it's hard to be all in both places, and very few people can actually do it and be successful, honestly, because you only have so much time and energy to give. And
absolutely.
It's hard.
Yeah. Yep. And I was a surgical assistant for a periodontal practice. So I was on my feet, literally. We did not sit. I was a chairside assistant, but I stood all day in a very high volume practice. So when I came home at the end of the day, I was done. I wanted to just so badly shut it off. Visly helped because it would post throughout the day when I could not post. I wasn't spending evenings scheduling posts. I kept all of my engaging posts in the evening where I knew I would be home so that I could engage, because it's so important to engage. I have an incredible husband who, as soon as he saw the income potential, he was like, so what can I do to help?
That's awesome.
So we kind of had the same schedule where he would be home every day about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So we quickly shifted roles. Like, I worked dental during the day. I was Scentsy in the evening. He came home, he cooked dinner. So we tag teamed it. I spent all of last year paying off all of our debts, so that come January, I could do this and I could dive in full time. And I've noticed my ability to do so much more now that I've done full time. But it was a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. I had spent many days, I'm not even going to lie, sitting in the corner. I literally sat on the bathroom floor one night in tears, because I felt like you just don't get a break. Like, your phone's going off constantly, especially when you're running the volume that I'm running. But I stop, I put my big girl panties on, and I gather myself. And I remember my why. Everybody's got a why, and sometimes that why changes, but I think it's really important to stay focused on that.
And I think I love that you said, I'd sit in the corner and cry. I think we've all done that because of just all the things happening all at once. You get overwhelmed. And the biggest part of your story that I heard you is, I sat in the corner, I cried, and then I shook it off. I put my big girl panties on and got back to work, right? A lot of people, when you get in that funk, it's hard to get out of the funk. And all the negative thoughts just start coming in and creeping in. And that's when you're self-doubt, and it just snowballs into not a good situation. And so I love that you said, pull my big girl panties on and let's get back to work, because that is what it's about.
Exactly. Yep. I messaged Caitlin Berry and I'm like, something's got to give. Something's got to give. And she told me all the right things. But then 2 days later, I just picked right back up and did what I always do. So
I love that you
everybody has a moment.
Yeah, they do. Everybody has a moment. And the fact that you're reaching out saying, hey, I need help to your leaders, because when you are doing that kind of volume for customers and team, a lot of times leaders don't know that you're struggling or you need help. And you're one person with, hundreds, 150 like yourself. And it's nice when they do reach out, like you're saying to Caitlin, because you don't know what you don't know. And we don't mind you reaching out if you need help. We want to help. If you want help, we want to help you. I love your set it and forget it. I don't set it and forget it. I think that is so important,
Yes.
because a lot of people will put that co-pilot into auto drive into these parties. And I love that you said you were texting every person, even like your mailbox smells good, or check your mailbox, it's on its way. Like, it's just little things.
It is. I'm trying to build connections. And when I see an opportunity to build a relationship, I do. And I'm not going to say that every single party that I have is brilliant, because it's not. I mean, heck, last month I must have closed 3 or 4 that didn't have a single sale. But I ran that party with as much effort as I did all the others. You just never know. And I think that's probably why I run so many in a given week, is because you just can't count on that one being successful. But I can look back and look at some of my worst parties have opened the biggest doors for me. So it's not all about the sales. It's about the relationships. It's about the people you meet along the way. I think in this business, you always want to be meeting new people. And I'm not a social person. I'm not like out there in all these clubs and in all these groups and stuff. So parties is my way to do that.
I love that. Something that really was a big aha for me, that you said you don't friend request them until the last day of the party. And I think that's really profound, because a lot of times with these multi-level marketing or direct sale parties, it's all the same. It's scripted. It's a post here. You're commenting, you're engaging, inviting tons of people. They're half engaged, they're half not.
Yeah.
And you send the friend request at the beginning, but they don't know you. It's spammy. And I love the fact that you do it at the end of the party, because it's all about commenting and getting to know those people. I think that's so important.
It is. And the only reason that I friend request is, well, 3 reasons, I guess. The first is so that I can invite them back to my VIP group. If they're a friend, I can invite them to my VIP group. Second, I keep Facebook happy, so I can actually message them, because you can't send too many messages without them being your friend, or Facebook just shuts down Messenger. And yeah, there was a third. I can't remember what third is now.
No, you're totally fine. Somebody wants an example of how you ask someone to host a party for you. So a lot of people struggle at getting bookings. So what is your advice to these consultants that are like, you need to gear away from, a lot of people take orders, they run on a sales business, and we're a party planning company. And so how do you get somebody to make that shift? No pun intended on Thursday night shift, make that shift from orders to partying. How do you get people to do that, Dawn?
Well, during the party, I'm of course looking for those windows of opportunity. Somebody that places a large order. It's just building a relationship, and I'll message them or text them. And of course now I'm texting them because I have Project Broadcast, but before I was messaging them and just, shooting off the cuff and being authentic. I see your love for Scentsy, and have you ever thought about, hosting a party so that you can get some free and half off Scentsy? I have a post that goes off, and it's copied from Yvonne Gritton's template, and it's just if you could pick a mini warmer for free, which one would it be? Comment below and then look for a message from me. And so I will message them. Thanks for commenting on this, on the post. And of course it's worded a whole lot more elegantly than this, but basically if you host a party that qualifies and in parentheses, 200 in sales, easy peasy, you can pick any mini warmer that you choose. I know she sometimes does full-size warmers. Yeah. I still in director numbers, so $25 is a little more attainable to me. Right. A full-size warmer. So I have always offered a mini warmer for a qualifying party. Always. That's since the day I started. Well, not since I found her group. That's what I've done it, and it's worked. I think people love the thought of getting something for free. And that's part of my personal message that I'll send to them on Sundays as well. I also put my hostess to work. I'll use that perpetual party reward as another half off. If you can find somebody to book a party, you get another hostess reward from me. So if they find somebody, then I'm paying full price for that mini warmer. And I'm fine with that because I think every business has advertising expenses, and that's my advertising expenses, that $25, and I'm more than willing to pay it. If they don't find somebody, then I'm paying $12.50 for it because I'm using it. I'm using the perpetual party reward, and it's just being shipped directly to them, and I split the payment at the end. So
love that. So if somebody is like, I have no parties on the books, zero, nothing is booked. Where do I start? What are you going to tell me if I'm in your team and I don't have any parties booked? What are you going to tell me? What is Dawn, the director fixing to be star director, future star director, going to tell me?
I just need one more director, man. I got the numbers.
What are you going to tell me?
I am going to tell you to go back to the basics. That it depends how long you've been a consultant. But if you've been a consultant through several, even one catalog, one transition, new catalog brings new life. You have hostesses that have hosted for you in the beginning. You're going to go back to them. Hey, would you do me a favor? I love that word favor. I think the free and half off Scentsy is a secondary to that favor because I have a lot of, it's just hard for people to say no to that. Personal messages, personal texts, your best customers. Heck, I did that when I was really trying to give the push, those last parties in December last year. I reached out to a customer, even though I had plenty of parties booked. I knew she had $1,000 party for me back in March. I knew she'd have another $1,000 party for me in December. And she was like, sure, why not? Yeah.
All because you asked, right?
All because I asked, because you know what, you develop thick skin. Some people are going to ignore you and some people are going to say no, but what if they say yes? I'm not afraid to ask. I'm not salesy and I'm by no means pushy because that's just not my personality, but I'm not afraid to ask anymore. And I have found that because I've had a lot of hostesses like rebook with me, especially knowing that fall is the bigger months, and their party might have stunk the first time. And boy, it was a nice $600-700 party the second time with a whole new set of friends and a whole new set of bookings. So just because it stunk one time does not mean it's going to stink again.
That's true.
So yeah, it's definitely worth trying. Yeah. So that's what I would do. I would say, reach back out to your friends and family, reach back out to some of your good customers and just start asking. I think a personal message goes so much further than what we can post on Facebook. So, and I'm starting, and I want to start to learn how to do, texting parties and things like that. Now that I've, dove into Project Broadcast, I'm still trying. I've only been doing it for like a month now. So I'm still trying to learn the waters, but I've definitely seen a benefit from it every day. The first thing I do when I come to my office is I sit down on Project Broadcast and I send a thank you to every single order that happened the day before. If you're an existing customer, I'm going to personalize it a little bit more. If you are a party order, I am going to tell you, I'm going to thank you. I'm going to invite you to my VIP texting group, and I am going to tell you all the awesome things I can give you if you continue to be my customer. So,
okay. So I'm going to jump in here. Hi, it's Callie. So I just have to say a couple of things real quick. So I do love that. And we do have some Project Broadcast questions. We actually have not dove into Project Broadcast a ton on Shift because we know it's that additional expense, right? And different things like that. And it's a learning curve, as I'm sure you're learning, right? Like,
oh, it is. I've actually been doing it with Tracy Browning and Yvonne Gritton. We kind of got together and Stephanie Brimmer, I don't know how you say her last name, but she kind of helped us get started. So it was a huge blessing to be invited to that group.
That is really awesome because I know that us as like leaders, like we're working together and we're trying to crack it down as well. So I do have a couple questions and we're going to talk about some of those Project Broadcast questions for those of you guys that don't know in just a second. But I have to say, we were talking about parties and I also had written down like, how do you get your parties? So I'm really glad we touched on that. But my next question is, do you feel like the most like you're recruiting? Because obviously you built your team really quickly, right? Mm-hmm. So do you feel like your recruits have come for parties or they're coming from other places? How is recruiting working for you personally in your business?
I would say both. Okay. And I would say probably more customers that have just fallen in love with the product and kind of been my customer for a long time. heck, I had one customer reach out to me today. She's getting ready to go on a cruise. And she said, as soon as I get back, I'm going to talk to you about one of those kits. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because she's just like this retired lady whose husband still works and she stays at home and plays on her cricket all day, has a $150 Scentsy club with me every single month, and orders constantly, probably $400 to $500 a month in Scentsy. And so I'm thinking, okay, now she finally wants the discount because she saw my post, right? So I'm going to lose this one. And she's like, nope, I want to give it a go. I need a purpose in my life. And so I have had a lot of that. People come to me because they've just watched.
And I think one of the things you said in the very beginning was Scentsy sells itself. And so that what that immediately told me, and then their building relationships comment was, you were sharing Scentsy, you weren't selling Scentsy.
Oh,
you were
absolutely.
sharing why you liked it. And through that, people are attracted to you. And they just based off that last comment, right? She came to me, I need a kit because of how you're sharing and what you're doing. So how would you feel like you share that's attracting people? Is there certain ways that you post, or there's certain, like, how is that working for you? I haven't looked at your Facebook to like say this is what I noticed.
I do more in my VIP group than I do on my personal page. I try not to inundate my personal page. And of course I try to balance it with something that's going to get a lot of interaction so I can boost my algorithm, and then I post something Scentsy. So, you all got to play the game. But I post a couple, 2 to 3 times a day in my VIP group. And I post live products. I'll post me using a product, before and afters of things, just, being authentic. Once a week, I'll probably pop on and do a fun game and do a giveaway, car bar or something like that. It's amazing how you can get little engagement, then you go to give something away and like 500 people come out of the water. But but it boosts the algorithm, and that's why I do it. So yeah.
Okay, so then the other question was, so you mentioned that you use Visibly, and you mentioned that you came across Yvonne's group called, and I'll be honest, I am not aware of Yvonne's group, and I know her name, but I have not had any personal connection with her. So I'm definitely going to look into that as well. But I know there were some that were like, okay, what is this group that you're talking about?
It's Sample Stop and Shop. And I know she's recently been doing because she went down to Disney, and then she had her retreat down there and stuff, and talked a lot about it. So she was walking through every day how she does her parties, and she was doing lives on there. So I know right now there's just a wealth of information on her group that's current.
Perfect. We're gonna have to find that and get that shared in there. Okay, so let's real quickly, I'm just going to give a quick overview of Project Broadcast, because that's a lot of what questions are asking. So Project Broadcast is a service. It is an app you pay, but it's basically text messaging, and you can put it into, you can put your contacts in there. Because one of the questions was, how do you get your people into Project Broadcast? Well, she's not having to do anything. She just goes and adds them. Like, they don't have to do anything to get into Project Broadcast. So that is that. It is different from Amy. I think that it's great to use in line with Amy, because Amy gives you the reminder and it tells you what to do. And as you're starting, it's great because you can just send those one messages. But as you start to grow, like Dawn did so quickly, you can't literally message every single person one by one if you're doing $10,000 a month in sales, right? Or even 5,000 or 2,000 sometimes. And so it's a way to let you mass text people at once, but you can personalize it. And so that is what Project Broadcast is. And we may have to do a training on it, but it is an investment in your business. So that's kind of what the questions were there on that. What would you say is, because you said you're loving it, what are the results you found from Project Broadcast so far that you feel like it's paying off for you?
I've just the ability to reach people that aren't on Facebook. In the beginning, I uploaded all my contacts. So I had almost 1,500 contacts. So and every time you send a message, or at least a scheduled message, a broadcast, they call it, you're paying a credit. So I used a lot that first time, but I also included in there, you can hit stop and opt out at any time, because realizing there are a lot of people underneath me that are customers of now new consultants. So I didn't want to step on any toes. Like, please opt out if you're somebody else's. Or reply VIP to be added to my weekly VIP texting group. So now I have a separate tag of about 300 people that are just people that said yes I want to receive your weekly messages. So I have been sending out a weekly message, whatever our LTO is, or like this week, with the beginning of June, I, sent a message, with all the new things. The shorter the message, the better. You can click a link inside and it takes you to a landing page that I have created, and it's like a newsletter. So it's like a digital newsletter. So,
and for those of you that paid attention to our Canva clickable sites, that would be a great way to use that.
Yes, absolutely. So I've just had a lot of fun with it. Of course, it's made life a whole lot easier when I'm texting all those people about the party packs. I'm not sitting here, on my phone. I have a message that's like ready. I say, hit the template, enter their name, go. It just simplifies it so much. And I've had orders from people that I haven't had orders from since the beginning because they're not on Facebook, or they don't get my notifications in my group anymore. So like I said, I wish this had been around since the beginning, because it would be much bigger, but we're just going to start today and move forward.
Absolutely.
I like it so far. And I think it's going to come in handy, especially in the fall when you have all those LTOs coming. Yeah. And I think when we have like catalog transition or really big launches, I'll hit that 1,500 contact section. But for right now on my weeklies, I'm just doing the people who asked to be texted.
I love that. So my next question for you would be I had written down, you got to the point where you were not afraid to ask. So what do you think was kind of that tipping point for you? Because that's, I think, what holds a lot of people back. They're just afraid to ask.
Yeah. I mean, you don't grow when you're comfortable. You don't grow when you're comfortable. And I'm still working on that with the lives, because I'll be the first to admit I don't go live in my VIP group near as much as I probably should. I actually ordered a whiff box this month so that I could go live unboxing it, because I know they want to see me, because every time I do, I get a lot of interaction. It's just like not my thing. But yeah, so you just have to step outside your comfort zone. I don't know that there was a pivotal moment other than I was sitting at home, not able to walk for like 6 weeks, and I needed something to do. So,
well, I think what I love about that also is that I don't know if that's when that kind of all transpired and shifted and all of that was, because you also had said, I didn't even know that I could flip a party, right? So when that gal reached out to you, like, I didn't even know what flipping a party was. And so I wrote down, you don't have to know it all to just take action and start, right? And you're going to learn along the way. And so that probably was that major, I would assume, a tipping point for you, right? Was you just dove in head first and just learned as you went.
Exactly. I mean, I had a sponsor above me who was only a consultant for a few months. I remember reaching out to her. I remember waking up in the morning on my way to work, and I got on Barry's page and I saw somebody post that, you congratulating one of their team members for hitting 2,000 in sales and enjoy that extra bonus. And this was October, the first month after I joined. And I was like, a monthly bonus? So I messaged my sponsor and I was like, do we get a monthly bonus if we hit 2,000? And her response was, yes, but that's awfully hard to do. And I was like, well, but I'm like $100 away.
I'm sorry. That's making me laugh and cough. I can't find the mute button.
So, I mean, and bless her heart, she didn't know, she was as new as I was. So
I think that sometimes we put our own projections onto other people as to how we can be successful and what we think is hard or not hard or okay in our businesses. And that's a perfect point, because you're like, but wait a minute, I'm doing this. So I don't know why you're saying this is hard right now, right? Because that's what I'm doing. So if I need another $100, I need to know, because I'm going to do it.
Exactly. I would rather have 30%. Yep. And I've had it ever since. So
that is so awesome. Serious big congrats. That makes me think of, so for those of you wouldn't know her yet, because she wasn't around since she hasn't been around as much since you joined. But my mom, that was her. She joined January 1st, basically, and the incentive ends in January. If you guys don't, every year January the incentive ends, and she almost earned that incentive in her first month, but she didn't even know that it was an incentive, right?
Yes.
And so that's the same type of mentality, right? You just dove in, you just took action. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm just going to share and do and share something that I love. And look at what happened and where you were at. And that's so freaking awesome. And I think it's incredible.
So it's proof that your why can change.
Absolutely.
So whenever I hear somebody say, yeah, I just want the discount on my own purchases, I'm like, sure, I got a free kit for you. And that's what I do a lot too. I make it a personal goal to never close a party with at least a personal party. I mean, I can't control the hostess's party because she's not going to hang around for a week while I try to find somebody. But if it's a personal party, I'm looking for somebody to give that free kit to. So as long as it's $500 and I have a $75 in credit, somebody's getting that kit, even if I have to hold on to that party for a month, because I'd rather have a new recruit than inventory on my shelf.
Okay, I just want to say a few things because I can see why you've been successful. Hands down. Like, and my favorite thing that you have shared is everything you have shared, everything that you've implemented is totally duplicatable. There's not been some massive, scary, and you know what I mean? Like, it's
Right.
like, oh, you can do this. Anybody can do what you've done.
Cool. Absolutely.
You work hard. You didn't just sign up and say, okay, hopefully everybody comes to me. Like,
Yep.
you put in the work and you like, that is so inspiring. The other thing that stood out to me, which these ladies have already, like, sounds like we took the same notes, but the other thing is you found your connections, you found your tribe, your upline, your sideline, the people in the Scentsy world, because we have talked about connections over and over and over and over and over and over until we're blue in the face. That's how Shift even became, because we connected with one another and wanted to expand that. So
Right.
I just wanted to say, I think that's amazing that you were like, wait a minute, because for me, I'm very timid. And if I would have been like, oh, you get a bonus, I've admitted this. I was in Scentsy for I don't know how long before I realized you got a monthly bonus if you sold over 2,000. Like, and you're like, hold up, that is totally, that I can do that. And I love that you have that, like, you have a go-getter contagious. I can see why people are drawn to you. You're really great. I wanted to say thank you because
Thank you.
I love your work hard, no excuses. I'm going for it. I'm setting the goals and nothing is stopping you. The one other thing you said, I can't sit on my phone all day. So you found a solution to that. You found your Vizsla and you're like, I can't sit on my phone and do that all day. I've still got a job. And you found a solution for that.
Right.
So, I didn't really have any questions. I just wanted to say thank you because, like, I'm very inspired. And the other thing that I really loved is how you talked about, oh my gosh, joy, like your Facebook is joy and happiness and everything. And that I can tell, and I can see why people are drawn to you. You have a very confident demeanor, but like also sharing and not selling. So thank you. I just wanted to tell you all my little nuggets that I was taking away, and I appreciate you sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're so relatable. And I think you offer hope to a lot of people that might not be as brave as you yet. And I think it's very inspiring I think a lot of people will get off tonight feeling like, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to give this a shot. One of the questions I really want you to answer before our 12-minute deadline, and I'm sure we're gonna have more questions just coming on in anyway for Dawn. But Edna asked, do you just message all your Facebook friends? How do you do this without sounding like, hey girl, direct seller? Like, you're not just spamming and messaging all your friends on Facebook, right?
No, I was very specific to who I asked, especially those that I had a closer relationship with. And if I could text that person, I would of course text them before I Facebook message them. But I just reached out to all friends and family in the beginning because everybody's friends list is just a little bit different than the last. And I mean, I think the first girl I signed up was up in Pennsylvania, and the second person was out in Riverton, Wyoming. So, and here I am in Virginia. So, and it's all because of Facebook parties, because it just grew. And like I said, one party can stink, but the next one's great, or it's not the sales, it's the people you meet and the doors that have opened for you. I mean, I can sit there and trace back like how I got to this consultant because of this party way back over here. And it's really cool. And the work that you put in to it. Now, like if at the end of the party, I don't book any, I have no bookings and no sales, I'm still working that party just as hard. And I'm very type A. So I have to know I did everything I could to try to make it happen. Yeah. And
I think, would you say that people that are running, just posting stuff and waiting for people to respond, like you have to get away from that method because that's what's not creating the results. Would you say that's true?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can't just post, hey, I need parties, or however elegantly you want to put it. I think you need to make it very personal. It's so easy to scroll by a post and ignore it versus a message that's sent to you, or a text, or a phone call. Even just pick up the phone and ask.
Like
even
if you were to pick a friend out right now, Dawn, like somebody on your waiting list of who you're reaching out to, think of somebody and would you just give us like what you would say immediately? Like what do you mean by making it personal and asking for, could you just give us an example of like somebody on your friends list right now? Like if you were just to say, Carrie, I just whoever, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just give us an example. Cause I know a lot of times people are like, I just don't know what to say.
I would just be, hey, Shelly, and then I would insert some pleasantries there, some past history. How are you doing? How's this from the last time, we talked, type of thing. I think one thing in dentistry over 33 years has taught me is how to talk to people. You sit awkwardly in that room, you and a patient waiting for that doctor to come in, and you learn how to talk to people. So I would start a conversation, and then I would lead into, I'm sure you're aware now that, I've began my journey with Scentsy, or I'm still in my journey with Scentsy. And I was wondering if you would do me a favor by supporting me and booking an online Facebook party. I'm really just trying to get my name out there and would appreciate your support.
I love that.
It's just as simple as that. It's hard to say no to something like that.
Yeah.
I always tell them there's absolutely no pressure for big sales or big attendance, because I think a lot of people would be embarrassed that either they wouldn't have anybody join or they wouldn't have any sales. I don't care about that. I'm going to take that pressure off of the table right from the beginning. And I'm going to put it all on me. I will say though, and like everybody knows, an engaged hostess is key. So I keep in touch with my hostess. I don't bother them every single day, but if I have an engaging post that's just gone off that I really need their participation, I'm sending them a message or a text. Hey, this just went off. Would you mind hopping on for me? Because if they don't show up, nobody else is going to show up.
That was a golden nugget right there. If y'all did not hear that, you've got to write that down, because I think a lot of times people book these parties expecting the host to be a party planner, be an event planner, know Scentsy in and out, and they're just buying wax and bulbs, guys. I mean, and sometimes at Walmart, I'm sure, like this is what we're like, this is what's happening. Like, but this is who's leading your pack, right? And so I think you've got to take the bull by its horns and spoon feed them to which way you want them to go. And that's exactly what Dawn is doing. I think that's such great
to the
advice.
basics comment earlier that she told you when she said she would tell them to go back to basics. That's all I've heard is she's not overcomplicating anything. It's hostess coaching, it's connections. It's not cold calling or cold messaging. It's that hostess coach. It's like what we've heard for 15, 16, 17 years of what Scentsy is about. She's just doing the basics and being simple and true and authentic to herself. And I think that is the aha for me right there.
It's so true. So would you say, how would you reconnect somebody if you used to be close with them? You're not close anymore. You've grown apart. You don't really talk to them. Is that somebody you'd even reach? I wouldn't even necessarily reach out to that person. I might just start normal life conversation and tiptoe my way in. It's like you're going on a first date. You're not going to kiss them or hug them. You're just going to hold hands a little bit.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Any last questions or chew on straws? Listen, I know you can't do that either. Any last questions for Dawn? Y'all want her to answer any last thing in our last 5 minutes? I thoroughly have taken so much notes and enjoyed this so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh
I was nervous. I wanted to tell you no so badly, but
I'm so glad you didn't.
Then I was trying
We're so glad you didn't tell us no.
But I was trying to give myself my own advice. Just do it because you'll feel better after you did it. Yeah. And I do. I was dreading this all day long.
Well, wait till Jason Harwood calls you to do a corporate call. That's next.
No.
You never know.
Really, Dawn, thank you so much. You had given, we knew you were going to be incredible, but you really gave some very amazing nuggets from start to finish. And I think if anybody has anything to take from it, I mean, there's so many things. If you didn't get a nugget tonight, I apologize, that's on you. But I really think that it's just to do it scared, do it to learn it, do it to take action, and do it because you're doing it for you and your why. Doing it because hopefully it still brings you joy. Hopefully it brings you joy and you're finding the joy. And there's going to be moments, like you said, where it doesn't. And you might find yourself on the floor crying in a corner, but then you say, okay, I'm coming back at it. And I'm going to make it happen.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Those, I have a lot of nuggets, and there are a lot of nuggets that I've picked up along the way from some amazing people in my journey. So without them, I wouldn't be here. And just like with everything in life, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. You can't just create a Facebook group, make a couple posts, and in the beginning, it's all so fun and exciting because your friends and family are buying from you and you think this is great. They're not going to sustain you. You have to grow beyond that immediate customer base. And parties is how I have found to do that.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. And I think Tiffany has wrapped this up the best. WWDD, what would Dawn do? I think that is the best finale and the way to close this out, because you are just a breath of fresh air of legitimately how someone is successful in this business. It is testers, relationships, and conversations and asking. You do it. And your 9,000, 10,000 PRV and 150 group in 2 years shows for it. And I just thank you so much, Dawn, for getting on here and sharing with us.
Well, thank you for having me. And hopefully I'll get to meet some of you at SFR. This will be my first one. Last year, it was sitting on my couch, watching my name scroll across the TV by myself, drinking coffee. So I'm excited.
Oh, we will be there. We will definitely hug for sure when we get there.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys, for tuning into Thursday Night Shift. We'll see you again next week on Thursday Night Shift. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.